Welcome back to Great Day Live's Holiday Bites and Delights, sponsored by Kroger. Now, I'm sure your fridge is just packed to the brim with leftovers after today, and Chef Brandi is here to turn today's feast into tomorrow's delicious new creations. So, Brandi, what are we making now?
You know, I've heard you say several times, you know, the recipes and ingredients made simple, you know, made simple by Kroger. And I think a lot of people think they have to have something elaborate and something really fancy to make something really fancy, you know, to make it taste good. How many of these have you eaten over the past month?
Oh
how
my
many
gosh.
have you seen at a party, you know? Holiday cheese balls. I've been seeing these on holiday counters since I was a little girl. Everyone probably has one left over, you know? Don't throw it away. We can make it taste better.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to make a holiday cheese ball pasta.
Pasta?
Yes, and it's not going to taste like a holiday cheese ball.
Yum.
Now, I've got one here that has no nuts.
For me.
Doesn't eat nuts, yes, correct. I would suggest removing the nuts. If you have one that's covered in bacon or the chopped dried ham, you can leave that in, put it in your pasta. The nuts might give a little bit of an odd texture.
Okay, good to know.
So right here, I've got a cup of heavy cream heated up. You could use half and half if you wanted, but you kind of need the richness. And we're gonna put this whole cheese ball right in.
Just dive right in there.
If you had a great big one and you're not sure how much this is, it's about 3/4 of a cup of a cheese ball.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to start whisking that together. I'm going to be honest with you, if you want to stop right there, if you have a flavorful cheese ball, you can just do this.
Really?
Yes, but we're going, you know, I'm going to give it some more flavor.
Of course you have to.
I'm
you always do it
add
up.
just about a teaspoon of some roasted garlic that I've roasted. You can buy this stuff in a tube at Kroger in the refrigerated section by the herbs. It's actually really good. You can make your own, or you can just use some garlic powder, but we're going to put a little bit of roasted garlic in there. Of course, Parmesan cheese. Yeah, you can get like really in there.
Yeah, okay.
Just swirl it. We're going to do about half a cup of shaved Parmesan cheese in here. And it's going to look like it's really thick. That's okay. We're going to thin it up here in a minute. I also got some spinach from Kroger. Normally, I would also put, and I highly suggest it, sun-dried tomatoes. If you do not have a tomato allergy, put sun-dried tomatoes in.
Myself.
And then you'll notice that this is still really thick, and you're thinking, Brandi, this is thicker than a mac and cheese sauce. This is not a pasta sauce. That's why we have saved some of our pasta water. Okay, so I boiled my noodles, and make sure when you boil any noodles for any pasta dish, you want the water to taste like the ocean. If your pasta is seasoned and the only way to do that is with the water, then you won't need as much. So we're gonna take this flavorful, starchy pasta water, and we'll probably
it instantly like thins that out.
Instantly thins it out.
Even just that little bit of water.
It's gonna give it a depth of flavor. It's gonna give it more body because it's not just regular hot water. Hot water is gonna make this watery. You know, this starchy pasta water is not gonna do that. And you can make it as thin or as thick as you like. And then we just have our salted pasta here. We're gonna dump some of that right in. And guys, depending on your cheese ball, mine has a ton of seasoning in it. There's all kinds of fresh herbs and garlic.
It looks very flavorful.
It is very flavorful already. Taste yours and adjust. Add in your favorite seasoning blend. I'm definitely adding some, I love black pepper. You know, add some garlic, add some Kinder's the blend. That's what I would normally add.
I was actually kind of surprised that you didn't pick up some Kinder's from Kroger.
There is a bunch in that cheese ball. I did pick it up from Kroger. It's in most of these dishes, but it was in the original.
Gotcha.
And then we're gonna, if you wanna hold on to that bowl for me, I'm gonna put you some right in here. And then of course, I want some more Parmesan right on top. The Kroger over by me has the most wonderful cheese section in the deli. You can get all kinds of fun charcuterie things and big hunks of Parmesan or any other flavor. You've got to try apricot Stilton. That's my favorite one to go on my charcuterie.
Yum, look at this.
And then if you want to try that. Tastes like someone spent all day. It tastes like you're in a restaurant.
I was gonna say, it feels like I'm in like Italy right now.
I'm telling you.
Good. It is so good. And who knew that the boring cheese ball can make something absolutely delicious?
Yes, and it doesn't taste like a cheese ball. That's the thing. We're sick of this food. We don't want our food to taste like it.
So
now, I guarantee almost everyone watching right now has a pot of mac and cheese sitting in their counter right now. Simple food, right? Simple food. Now, this is a homemade mac and cheese that I made. You can go to Kroger and get a box of Kraft mac and cheese or Kroger brand, you know, any mac and cheese and make it, whatever you have left over. Now, when you put your mac and cheese away today, you're not gonna put it in a regular, just in a big bowl or anything. I want you to put it in a Tupperware bowl lined with parchment paper, and I only want you to have it about this thick. stick some press and seal or saran wrap on top and just throw it in your freezer. You can mess with it later today if you want. You can mess with it next week if you want. I want you to freeze it solid.
Okay.
Okay? Take it out, leave it frozen, let it sit on the counter for a couple of minutes. And I'm gonna take a knife. We are making mac and cheese bites, fried mac and cheese bites. Now, if you want to, while it's still wet, you can roll it into balls. It is a mushy mess. They're not really gonna make a ball. It's, you know, I don't wanna do all that.
Right.
So I like to cut it into squares. I've added some crumbled bacon that I had left over on this side. This is just regular.
Yep.
And all I'm gonna do, you can see since it's frozen, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Just gonna cut it into some squares. And like I said, you can leave this frozen until you're ready to make them, or you can bread these, freeze them, pull them out when you want them.
There you go.
I'm gonna put me a glove on, and I've got a little breading station set up. Once again, super simple. I've got some plain all-purpose flour. Don't use self-rising.
Okay.
Season it with whatever you like. I've got some Kinders, some garlic, some onions, some seasoned salt, but as long as you put plenty of salt and pepper, you're good.
Yep.
We've got an egg wash, which is just egg, water, some hot sauce, and whatever seasoning you put in your flour, go ahead and throw some in your eggs.
Yes.
And then down here, we've got just plain panko breadcrumbs, just plain.
Okay.
We're gonna take our cheese bites. It's very important when you're breading, you wanna dust it in that flour first.
Okay.
If you stick it straight into the egg, it's not gonna create a barrier. When you drop it in that oil, it's gonna fall apart from your food. So we're gonna flour this up really good.
And it sticks like super
Sticks
well.
so
and you don't
great.
need to have that liquid on top.
No,
first.
and if you're making a bunch of these, go ahead and roll them in the flour and throw them in the freezer. Then you can come back and do the rest so that your flour doesn't get wet, but it's gonna take a while to do that. We're gonna stick it straight into the egg. You wanna make sure every part is wet. The panko will not stick to it unless it's wet. It's not gonna do you much good seasoning your panko. The chunks are too big. The seasoning's gonna fall through to the bottom. You can season it when it comes out of the fryer. I did a little test on these last night, and if you're sitting here thinking, I ate so much awful food during the holidays, I shouldn't be deep frying, these are great in the air fryer.
Yes.
I did them in the air fryer last night. I sprayed the top with cooking spray, threw them in there. They came out great.
Yum.
And I just want you to look at these.
Oh my gosh, look at that golden
Delicious.
perfection right there.
I think the smaller ones have the bacon in them.
Okay.
And if you crack these apart, I mean, just look at all of that mac and cheese inside.
Oh my gosh, so, so good. Delicious. So good.
I breaded these a couple of days ago. I did get up this morning and fry them, but these were already made. I had the mac and cheese ready when I had time to mess with it. So, you know, the holidays are a busy time, and right afterwards, you don't want to stand in here and do all of this stuff. Store it until you're ready for it. Just store it correctly.
Yes.
You know, and then when you're ready for it again, it's ready to go. Now I've got some fried mac and cheese frozen bites in my freezer ready to be tossed in the air fryer.
Well, yeah, and then you can just have these on the weekend, just pop them in. You can do, you know, a couple if you're just, you know, want a little snack. Of course, this is perfect for the kids too. But coming up next, you're actually going to utilize all the cranberries that we have been sitting on our counter. So we are going to hit that recipe when we come back.